Well, hey, my name is Miss Cheryl, and I'm from Springs Coast Environmental Education Center. You know, I was thinking today I might come down to the river and just look around. It is so spectacular down here. I like to just get outside. I love to get outside and look around and see stuff. Now, you might not have the Weeki Wachee River in your backyard, but you know, you probably have some woods. You might have some trails in your neighborhood. You know, you can get outside and investigate. In fact, I thought today it might be fun for us to go on one of my trails, and I'll tell you how I like looking around. Come on, join me. So this is one of my trails right here at Springs Coast Environmental Education Center. And whenever I go on a trail walk, I'm looking around and I'm noticing things. Like, I just noticed right here, a palmetto. A lot of times when you look at a palmetto, you can find spider webs. So I'm always looking around to see if I see any cool spider webs. Come on, let's keep going down this trail. Oh boy. If you ever come to a tree and you notice on a tree a bunch of red dots, yeah, that is a pretty cool thing to notice. I would say something like, I notice a whole bunch of red dots. It reminds me of the tree bleeding. Well, the tree's not bleeding. Those are actually blood lichen. But when you're on a nature walk, it doesn't really matter what they are. What matters is that you notice them and you thought about what they remind you of. Ooh, these red berries, they remind me of little balls on a Christmas tree. Maybe that's why the scientists called it a scrub holly. Deck the halls with balls of holly. Look at all of that. I noticed little red balls. Of course, whenever I see something like that, I'm not going to touch it because the oils from my hand would make it so that the birds would not want to eat it. And that might be food for them. So when you're out on this nature walk, you don't have to be grabbing stuff and touching stuff. You can be looking, noticing, wondering about things. Oh, let's keep going. You know, I noticed this big old bump on the branch of this tree. I'm thinking, that reminds me of a Band-Aid. Well, actually, you can kind of think of it like a Band-Aid. What happened is this pine tree's growing and a bug, it's probably a mite or a wasp, will lay an egg inside the branch of the tree, and the tree goes, golly, that really hurts. And the tree builds a scab around the bite to protect itself. And this is actually the tree that created this gall. So anytime you're walking along and you see like a bump on a tree, it's cool just to say, man, that reminds me of a big old bump or a lump. That's fun to do. But I want you to know, scientists actually call it a gall. You know, when I'm walking along, I notice things that grow on the tree. I notice this right here. It's a little tiny ball, a little tiny thing of moss. Now, scientists would call that ball moss. Why? Shaped like a ball, little tiny tuft of moss. But some of you are used to seeing Spanish moss. Now, Spanish moss hangs down from the tree, and I never get too close to that because chiggers love to live in Spanish moss. Oh, that tree has both ball moss and Spanish moss. But I'm going to tell you something right now. Ball moss, Spanish moss, they're not a moss. They're an air plant. They're part of the bromeliad family. They're not even a moss. Why in the world do they call them Spanish moss, ball moss, when they should call them Spanish air plant, ball air plant. You might wonder, well, what does a real moss look like? Well, let's look right down on the ground here. Right down here. Oh, you see this green stuff on the ground? That is a moss. That is a real moss. The others are air plants. Oh, interesting. That's a good fact to know when you're out on your nature walk. Look at that thing. Oh my goodness, it looks like it's gonna fall on my head. Hey, if you ever find a dead tree out on your walk, you are definitely wanting to take some time with that tree. Do you know that that dead tree is the most important tree in this entire habitat? It's the most important tree because there are thousands and thousands of bugs that live inside that tree. So all the birds that want a little snack this afternoon are coming to that tree to eat. So that tree is called a snag. Oh, look, you can see some galls on it. I see some ball moss. Wow, it's loaded with stuff. Oh, I even see lichen on the bark. See, this is all fun stuff you can go find. So when you are out on your nature walk and you come across a beautiful gopher turtle like this, don't get too close. I don't want to scare that gopher turtle. That gopher turtle lives here. That's this gopher turtle's house. Oh, what a nice little gopher turtle. I love it. Very powerful front legs to dig burrows. This is as close as I should ever get to a living creature, especially a magnificent gopher turtle like this one. Oh, this is fun to watch. Oh, I hope you find something cool like this when you're on your walk. Wow, thanks for joining me today on this walk. I hope that immediately you're going to get outside and you're going to find a neat place to go walking. You're going to notice things. You're going to think about what they remind you of. I just want you to get out there and get excited. I hope to see you again on our next adventure.